Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tom Olsen. The name of the show is Olsen on Law. I'd like to introduce you to attorney Charlie Price. Charlie focuses exclusively on helping average consumers, self-employed people, and small businesses with their tax problems. I asked Charlie to come on the air today and answer a question that I received from one of our listeners. Hey, Charlie, thanks for being on the air with me.
Hey, Tom, how are you? Chris, how are you?
We're doing great, thank you. Hey, we're fast approaching the tax deadline. I'm getting some emails from people who say that they know they owe income taxes, but they don't have the money to pay them. They want to know, should they file a tax return, and how much would it cost?
Hey, Tom, you're right. I get all those calls, too, and everybody thinks, hey, if I'm going to owe money, let's just not file that tax return. Because then they're not going to know that I owe money and they're not going to collect. But as I've said a few times on this show, that's just a mistake. Because if you don't file the tax return, there's a number of problems, but maybe the most important one is that they fine you 5% per month of your total tax bill for not filing the return. So, they're going to get you anyway. Go ahead, file the return, so you don't have that penalty, among other things, and then we can address the tax debt. It's just not worth not filing the return. And then, to answer your question, what's it going to cost? Well, it really depends on, if it's just one time they haven't done it and there's a minor tax bill, it's very, very inexpensive for me to resolve that for someone. If it's a more difficult case in multiple years, it's a bit more expensive. But generally, I'm pretty successful in getting a lot of penalties waived, and very often it's more than what people pay me to solve the whole case. So, it's worth coming in, talking to me. There's no charge for the consultation. And then even if they don't retain me, I can give them some good advice about how to proceed.
If they file a 2000 tax return and it says they owe money, but they know they're not going to make a payment on it because they don't have money, would they come see you right away, or would they come see you when they're ready to start negotiating a settlement with the IRS?
I prefer that we be proactive so that we can start preparing. I don't want to wait till they get a final notice of intent to levy, or more often what happens when people start having their bank accounts or wages garnished is when they first come to see me, and then we're in reaction mode, and I can't maybe give them all the options they might have gotten if we'd seen them way earlier in the collection process. So I always want to see people early rather than late.
And when will they start hearing from the IRS? If they file their tax return here next week and they owe money, they don't make a payment, when are they going to start getting letters and maybe phone calls from the IRS?
It really varies a lot. And it could be a couple, 3 months to much longer before they put them into what I call the collection sequence. But usually they'll assess the taxes fairly quickly, and within the next couple, 3 months, typically they'll start sending out their collection notices.
Hey, you and I talked a couple months ago that the IRS is going to start using collection agencies where people will be calling you to try and collect taxes. How's that coming along?
Yeah, it still has not started, but it's coming. It's coming very soon. And this is not going to be for the average person who, like, for instance, this year they haven't paid their taxes, and then that's the first thing that happens. It's probably going to be for more long-term collection cases that the IRS so far has been unable to collect. So the average person initially is probably not going to get that.
All right, Charlie, tell the listeners our phone number and how they can reach you on the web and apps.
Do it through my tax resolution company, which is IRS 1099. So go to IRS1099.com or 855-IRS-1099, or can download our app, IRS 1099, or can get our book, I Can't Pay the IRS Now What, by going to www.theirsbook.com.
Thank you, Charlie. We appreciate it. That's attorney Charlie Price of the Price Law Firm here in Orlando. Hey, folks, my name is Tom Olsen. The name of the show is Olsen on Law.